25 apiece over on ABC. Let's send you down to Tallahassee. Beth Mullins and Anthony Beck with the call.
And we'd like to welcome those of you to join us here at Florida State, FSU, and Boston College. A promising drive for the Seminoles to start out the game, and then Zach Allen blocked the field goal attempt from Ricky Aguayo, and now BC with their first possession. And here's the block from just a moment ago.
Yeah, look at the push they get there on the right-hand side. You got to anchor down if you're an offensive lineman. That's great physicality at the line of scrimmage to make that big play.
Now BC looking at a 3rd and 9. Four-man pressure. The throw is away. It's caught by White out across the 30, but that will be short, and it's 4th down.
It's good to see Anthony Brown back. Their starting quarterback got knocked out early against Clemson. He feel like he's 100% healthy to come out. Again, though, when you're 3rd and 9, 3rd and 6, Beth, you got to get to the sticks. That's a short pass. Good job by Florida State's defense picking up the stride after that block kick.
DJ Matthews will be the deep man. Grant Carlson back to punt from inside his 20. Matthews will let it take a couple of bounces, and it will stop just inside the 20-yard line. And a punt of 49 yards. Beth Mullins, Anthony Beck, along with Rocky Boyman. A big day for Boston College. A 10-win season, still very much in play for them. And for Florida State, trying to keep the streaks alive, Anthony.
Yeah, I'll tell you now, all those bowl games at stake. This team needs to win their last 2 games. It really comes down to senior leadership. Guys like Eberle at the center position, Naquan Murray. Do these guys want to come out and lead this young team that's been so many ups and downs for Florida State, try to get a huge win against a very good BC football team?
So much tradition, so much success for years under Bobby Bowden and Jimbo Fisher with the 3 national championships. And now Willie Taggart in his first season trying to get the Seminoles back to a bowl. They've been there 36 years in a row. Flag on the play.
Holding, offense, number 76, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Let's check in with Rocky Boyman.
Yeah, guys, the theme we kept hearing yesterday from Florida State's offensive coaches was simplify, do less better. They want to focus on running 1 or 2 schemes, but do them very, very well. They think with an offense that's still evolving into this high-tempo spread sort of situation, plus 9th different offensive line combination, they want to simplify things, let their guys play fast.
One thing that's been a problem, Beth, is penalties. And if they want to play smarter and simpler, they can't have those. One of the worst in the country. 93 coming into this football game.
Pass incomplete down the far sideline. It's 9 penalties per game. That last one was on Arthur Williams. And as Rocky alluded to, the inconsistency up front. And that's the group, really, that a lot of eyes will be on to see if they can protect the quarterback and get that running game going.
Yeah, Coach Taggart's got a lot of work to do in recruiting. You know, he's got to probably go again, get some JUCO players, some guys to hold the fort down. They just need continuity. They haven't practiced with the same starting crew for over the last 8 or 9 weeks, and that's going to be big moving forward for this football team.
Francois incomplete on the throw to the outside, looking for Tamarian Terry, the redshirt freshman out of Ashburn, Georgia.
It isn't easy on the quarterback, Beth, when you're 3rd and 16 the last drive, and now you're 3rd and 17. Tough for a play caller. What do you call? Walt Bell getting the reins here, being the play caller. Willie Taggart gave him that a few weeks ago. Just not a lot of things to call in these situations.
You can see Boston College defensive line pinning their ears back. 2 great defensive ends going to come get the quarterback here.
And Zach Allen and Wyatt Ray, the 2 guys. Allen getting into the backfield. They'll set the receiver screen here, and Boston College able to knock him backwards for a moment. Helton, who will probably be getting some more time today. DJ Matthews dealing with a bit of a wrist injury, and it's 4th down.
Harris is an impressive, strong safety, but for Florida State, they had a first down, Beth. Quarterback designed run on the first play. They get a hold. This has been the problems. The fans that are watching this game of Florida State, they're seeing the same things happen every single week, and until it stops, this team won't be able to put it together.
Special teams already with a block here in the first quarter. Tyler back to punt. They won't go after it. End over end and short. And Boston College will have it at their own 41-yard line after the 44-yard punt. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by ExxonMobil. A beautiful day here in Tallahassee for Florida State and Boston College. Eagles already bowl eligible. Florida State with work to do. Got to win today and then beat Florida next weekend. Anthony Brown at quarterback. AJ Dillon at tailback. Top 10 in the country in rushing with 117 yards per game.
True sophomore. This kid is a stud. 250 pounds. This is a business decision right here. Do you want to try to tackle him head up? Last year against Florida State, he made a lot of guys look silly. You better not just wrap up his legs. You got to gang tackle this kid. One of the most explosive backs in college football. He's been limited, Beth, the last few games with a high ankle sprain. They feel like he's probably been at his best heading into this game.
And Anthony, down here on field level, just the size of the legs of AJ Dillon look like tree trunks out there. It's tough for a smaller sized cornerback to want to go tackle him.
They'll try him again on 3rd and short, and Florida State standing pat and standing firm. Brian Burns with the stuff. Potential first-round pick, the junior out of Fort Lauderdale, and it's 4th and 1.
I would go fast here, go for it on 4th down. Got one of the top offensive linemen in the ACC.
Quarterback keeper.
I don't know, Beth. Did he reach out? Yeah, it looks like one ref has crossed our line. The other one's behind it. Look, they're both in different positions. They're going to take it.
That yellow line, of course, is projected first down, the yard to gain. Looks like he follows behind that left side.
Hard to tell where the football is at that point. Referee official may have the better angle. We're going to measure it, though.
163 combined starts for this experienced O-line. That's second most in the country behind Wisconsin. Yep. Well, they got it.
Yep.
Going for it on 4th down around midfield, and Boston College will keep its offense out there.
Yeah, you talked about 66 starts by this offensive line, and their right tackle, number 75, Chris Lindstrom, is an NFL product. They really like this kid. They feel like at the next level, he's going to shine.
Travis Levy now in the backfield, a little play action. And high pointing that one and going up to get it is Korab Idrisi, one of the 6 tight ends they'll utilize today, Rocky.
Absolutely. A team that's rarely, they use a 2 tight end set, but go with this fast tempo like you see, very unique.
Yeah, what was the line yesterday from their offensive coordinator, Scott Loeffler? We play pro football at about 1,000 miles per hour. They run it, and then they'll play action it.
Yeah, and what they do, Beth, is they pack everyone inside a phone booth. You don't see it. Most offenses these days, they want to spread the field out. They pack everyone inside. They're kind of a mass of humanity. Defensive players are bumping into one another, and they create space that way.
3rd and 7 here. Brown with time, and right at the marker again is Kobe White. And the spot appears to be a good one for BC. Asante Samuel laid the hit on him. And they're going to quick snap it here and run for it right up the middle. And what appeared like they were going to give him the first down there.
Yeah, you know, they didn't want to wait for that spot right there. They just took their big offensive line, grinded it out. That's twice now short yardage. Coach Adazio not really concerned where they're spotting it. They feel like pretty confident they can get the push they need.
They did indeed give them the first down, so this is 2nd down. And the Nazrul with the pick.
It's an excellent job by Nazrul. They really love love this kid, a sophomore, one of the big playmakers, and he just tracks the tight end, follows it all the way across the football field, and watch him jump at this speed, plucking that ball out of the air. Excellent job by the Florida State sophomore.
A tailgate here in Tallahassee. And this season, Taco Bell is celebrating student sections and passionate fans like the Florida State Seminoles by awarding the best student section of the year. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see if your team made this week's rankings and to see how your school can compete. First quarter scoreless, and Florida State off of the interception by Nasruldeen, and the deep throw down the middle, and the Noles will give it right back. Brandon Sebastian with the pick and the return down inside the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Beth, the ball just hung up in the air here, tried to hit the post route to Keyshawn Helton here. And listen, there's a lot of time on the outside going up the field. Just floats the ball up. There's no safety. You got to throw the ball out in front. He underthrows it. That's a nice job by Brandon Sebastian. He's only a redshirt freshman at 6'1", tracking that football, intercepting it down the sidelines.
And Anthony, this Florida State offense can simplify all they want, but they still have to execute. Still have to block the guy in front of you and still have to throw the ball to your player.
The run, AJ Dillon powering his way down inside the 15 and appears to have a Boston College first down.
I love this kid, man. I'm telling you, man. And Rocky's right. He is thick. I mean, he's got about 5% body fat. He looks pretty when he runs the football, but he's got great feet as well for being so big as a back.
Gain 10 and gains a couple more there. AJ will run it about 22 times per game. He's starting the day 64 yards shy of 1,000 yards, and that's including 2 games that he missed. They'll put one of those tight ends, Chris Garrison, in there at fullback in front of AJ. Ran into one of his own guys, reroutes himself. First down, and
he won't go down.
BC.
First down.
It's really incredible watching him down here. Defenders just bouncing off. He just always is falling forward, gaining positive yards.
I mean, it's, you know, look, there's guys in the backfield trying to bring him down. If you gang tackle them, that's the only way to do it. And when they had 2 or 3 chances, they still couldn't do it. It's like there's being a penalty on the offense.
False start here.
False start. Offense. Number 81. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's on the tight end, Chris Garrison.
Coaches said that AJ Dillon, you know, playing at 75% at that high ankle sprain, they said he's had the most bounce in his step this week. They really feel like there was some quickness, some really good things that they've seen earlier when he was healthy. And you see here this season, in the first half, 6 yards average, and now with that injury coming back, though, looks like he's getting a little healthier in this football game.
They'll go right back to him. Tries the middle of that FSU defense, and the Noles are having none of it. Good push up front. We expect to see a lot more of Josh Kando and Marvin Wilson, the 2 sophomores, highly recruited in their class, the top D tackle and D end a couple of years ago, arriving on campus, starting side by side today.
Man.
More movement from BC, headed the wrong way.
False start. Offense. Number 64. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, we were singing the praises of Steve Adazio's experienced O-line. A couple of miscues there. They are heading back to a bowl for the 5th time in 6 seasons under Adazio. This team was 2-10 the year before he arrived. Things have changed tremendously this year. Jeff Smith is going to try the throwback to the quarterback. Incomplete. Looking for Anthony Brown, and it was Dontavius Jackson on the coverage.
Yeah, coaches talked about Jeff Smith could be a potential fake player here. He's going to go on the jet sweep, get the ball, go across, and then turn back and try to throw it to Anthony Brown. Good job on the backside by Derek Brooks' son, DeKalen Brooks, just finding the ball, tracking it, not able to get the completion.
3rd and goal from the 12. Brown, incomplete. Brian Burns was on top of the quarterback. And what appeared to be a touchdown in the making for BC, a couple of penalties set them back. They'll have to settle for the field goal attempt.
Brian Burns at the top of the screen gets great inside pressure, and you got to hit the quarterback. See him come inside. The young sophomore right tackle, Ben Petrula, and those hits will take its toll for a guy that got knocked out of the game last week against Clemson, Beth.
A rarity for BC. Colton Lichtenberg has only attempted 6 field goals all year. This one a 29-yarder, and it is no good. A red zone attempt, and it comes up empty for BC. We remain scoreless in Tallahassee.
UCF looks to extend their streak on Saturday night.
A missed field goal attempt. Florida State had a shot early, and they had a field goal attempt blocked. And we remain scoreless. 5:17 to go here in the first. On the ground with Cam Akers. And we've got an Ohio State update for you with Chris Cotter.
This game was crazy. DirecTV, more for your college football thing. In overtime, Ohio State has already scored. Here's Maryland scoring with Tayon Fleet-Davis. So they're going to go for 2 at home to win it. Pigram rolls out. He's got a receiver wide open, and he can't hook up with him. Ohio State goes into College Park and escapes with the win.
Oh, so
wow. Maryland was right there, and that was a big kick return that set up the tying score for Ohio State late in regulation, and then they win it in overtime.
Florida State using some freshmen at the wide receiver position. We've seen Helton, number 20, now Harrison, number 88, getting some opportunities and reps in this football game as well.
Florida State is trying to go fast with the tempo, but they're not lining up correctly.
Yeah, the trips go all the way from the right side to the left side, and confusion for Florida State, Anthony.
False start, offense, number 74, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's Derek Kelly. That's their one senior at left tackle, but those receivers got to learn where to go, and Nyquan Murray is the one senior that's in that group. He's got to get them to the right side. They got to follow him when he's on the wrong side as well. That's just not good ball.
New coach and a new system. It's been a struggle all year long for this Florida State offense. Francois takes a big hit as he releases it, and his teammates have to pick him up off the turf. That was Will Harris again. The safety has been in there unabated a couple of times. It's 4th down.
The defensive coordinator Jim Reed talked about Will Harris is going to be coming into the picture here. Run this one. He's going to be on the right side, just going to bring pressure, and they're going to blitz him. He said that's the difference, getting through those open gaps at those offensive line. Don't see that coming. It's on the quarterback to get that ball out of his hands. Right there, takes a big shot.
Coming after it. A big collision with the punter, and a flag flies as the kick is away, and a fair catch, 47 yards.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, number 80 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Hunter Long had a crack at this to block it, and instead takes out the punter, and it's 1st down, Florida State.
Now the question is, did he get a piece of the football? It's hard to tell there. I mean, he should have caught that right off the punter's foot. Instead, I don't know how that ball gets through, runs into the kicker, and becomes a huge penalty.
And Anthony, this is going to be interesting. DeAndre Francois, as you mentioned, took a big shot. He was cringing on the sideline as he was talking to Tiger, but now he's got to find a way to get it back together and go back out here on offense.
DeAndre does return. They had the 2 big plays to start the game, and have not been able to find the rhythm since. They'll run it here with Jaquez Patrick, the senior from Orlando. He played well against Notre Dame last week. Gains 4 there. They'll try Patrick again. You know, they have really struggled falling behind teams, so they haven't had a whole lot of chances to run the football. Well, they may here today, the way this has started, scoreless.
If they stay away from the penalties and get guys lined up, I know they want to go fast and keep that tempo, but you also want guys to see who they're blocking, where the defense is lined up so they can have success.
The third worst rushing team in FBS this year at just around 80 yards per game. There's a throw for the first down to Trey McKitty, but here's been a big problem for Taggart's team. 4 of those 5 resulting in losses, down double digits to Tech, Syracuse, Wake, and then their last 2 games on the road at NC State and Notre Dame. Out of it really before things could even get going. Airing it out downfield, incomplete. Francois was looking for Trayshawn Harrison.
And he's a little frustrated. And again, that's the freshman Harrison, lined up on the wrong side, had to come back and really didn't run that route as if he thought he was going to get the football, Beth. And, you know, those are the things, the ups and downs that DeAndre Francois is dealing with when it comes time. Now, when the throw has to be there, when he threw that interception, that's on him. He's got to lay that ball out there for those open players. But everybody's taking their turn here to take away from the success of what this offense wants to be.
Francois starting out 4 of 10 with the 1 interception. Pressure coming. Throws it deep again. Out of the reach of Murray.
Lots of groans down here, guys. I don't know if you can hear them up there, but people are very unhappy with the execution of this offense right now.
Starting to drift up this way to the booth, Rocky. There has been some talk, you know, locally and in the press and amongst the fan base. Should it be Francois moving forward? Should they go back to James Blackman, who started last year when DeAndre was hurt and had a big game in a start against NC State this year? But Willie Taggart was quick to point out yesterday, Francois is not the issue in his estimation.
That's what he said. And Francois got to hold up his end of the bargain when his opportunity comes.
Allen draped over him, incomplete, and it's 4th down. So he's missed now on 4 of his last 5 throws.
And Allen is a premier pass rusher, and he's going to try to take advantage of every chance he can against this this offensive line of Florida State. And, you know, he's going to beat him with speed, with power, with quickness. The coaches here at Florida State said he's the best run to pass rushing specialist they've seen. He can transform himself at any point and become a very dominant player on the field.
He's a very unique player, Anthony. 6'5", 285. He's not your prototypical speed rusher, but he plays with, as you mentioned, a tremendous amount of power.
Mel Kiper and Todd McShay think he's another guy that could be a first-round pick, and that punt will roll into the end zone. 52 yards. It died at the 1, but nobody could get to it in time. Both sides have had opportunities, but special teams miscues, keeping them off the board. And here's AJ Dillon. 9th carry for AJ. Now up to 36 yards, so he's about halfway where he needs to be to hit 1,000 for the season. Nice cut back there. And he rambles out across the 35 and down to the 40. Fans thought the football popped out, but that was actually Nasruddin's helmet, and he'll have to come out for a play. A run of 16 for AJ.
Just dominating blocks up front. The center, Baker, Phillips, the left guard, just getting great push. I mean, nobody touches a guy like AJ Dillon, Beth, at the line of scrimmage. That's a problem when he gets into the 2nd, 3rd levels of your defense.
Timeout called here by BC.
Timeout.
And we'll take it with him. Be right back.
30 seconds.
Here in Tallahassee, again, Florida State. They've lost their last 3 in a row. They have not lost 4 straight since 1975, the year before Bobby Bowden arrived. A lot of streaks at stake. You know, Willie Taggart told us yesterday, said this is such a prideful place, so much tradition, so much history. And they don't want to be the group that sees those streaks come to an end. Over 40 years of winning seasons, over 35 straight years of going to a bowl, and those are the streaks. They got to win this week and next week. And then, of course, they would even have to win the bowl to keep that winning record streak alive. BC yet to convert on a 3rd down today. Out of the empty set, almost picked again. Samuels was the closest guy to it, intended for Kobe White, and it's 4th down. And a BC offense that averages over 30 a game, a bit out of sorts so far.
Yeah, it really looks like both quarterbacks are not on the same page as their receivers. We've seen some missed throws, obviously early turnovers by both quarterbacks. They're going to have to get on par. The one advantage BC has right now, Beth, is they're able to run the ball a little more effectively than Florida State right now. But Florida State has an opportunity if they can get their offense to execute.
Careen out of bounds right in front of Rocky Boyman, a 44-yard kick. Well, tonight at 8 Eastern on ABC, can UCF stay undefeated? They've won 22 games in a row, and they will take on Cincinnati tonight in primetime on ABC. It's Saturday Night Football presented by Walmart. Also on the ESPN app. How about the state of football in the state of Florida? We're accustomed to seeing Miami and Florida State doing so well, but it's the middle guys that are having the season so far. Unbelievable season for UCF. We saw them this year live, and they're really explosive on offense, Beth. I think the one thing when you look at them that you worry is their defense. They do give up a lot of points and yards, but they feel confident. And look, they're getting showcased this week. They're on prime time after the opportunity to really go out there against a very good Cincinnati team and play well. Very good Cincinnati defense, we might point out. Rocky?
Guys, really noticeable down here. I'm on about the 15-yard line. Boston College's defensive line is playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage right now. Seeing a lot of penetration.
Final minute of this first quarter. The pitch to Helton on the jet sweep. A big collision at the 20. He stays on his feet. And he's got a first down out across the 35.
Man, what a hit by Lucas Dennis, number 21. This is a heck of a job. This is a true freshman here, Keyshawn Helton. Watch him take this shot. Boom, right there. That could be a helmet to helmet. He's able to bounce on the outside and make that play there. That's an excellent job by him. It looks like they're not going to say look at it again.
Gain of 23 yards, and it certainly appeared, Anthony, that they could have considered a targeting here.
I watch Dennis coming downhill with this force right here, 21, and take a shot. You know what? He was kind of pulling his head in front of the player, and they rammed into each other. I like that was a no call on that play, but that was a massive shot that the true freshman took.
Quarter comes to an end. Florida State and Boston College. Start of the second quarter, and a 2nd and 5 for DeAndre Francois on the Seminole offense. Jaquez Patrick shoves his way forward for a few yards. Looks like he's got the first down yardage. Military Appreciation Day here at Doak Campbell, and a nice moment during the timeout. A homecoming and a lot of hugs. Get in there, little fella. There you go.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Beth, I thought those little kids were not letting go of their dad all the way into that tunnel. That was special.
Patrick will run it here on first down. Yeah, we had a nice flyover, a B-52 Strato Fortress from the 20th Bomb Squadron. Second bomb wing out of Barksdale Air Force Base. They came a long way from over near Shreveport, Louisiana today. Lot of Patrick now for the second game in a row for Florida State.
He's a downhill runner. They like his power. He's a big back, 6'3", 235 pounds. But sometimes when you hit the hole fast, you get those key blocks, he can get you those yards.
Twice the carries of Cam Akers, and there's a first down to get to the outside. And Keyshawn Helton is already having himself a first half. He picks up 9 more there.
It's being utilized quite a bit. True freshman.
Came in with just 5 catches on the season. Had the 73-yard touchdown against Clemson. try it again, down to about the 36. Zach Allen got in after the quarterback again. I think that's Cam Akers right there, so he's ready.
And they split the time last week against Notre Dame, like you said, and you see DeAndre Francois took another shot there after that play. They tried to run a fake and go deep, but he couldn't get the ball out. That gave Zach Allen at the top of your screen a big opportunity to beat the right tackle.
Second 11 more as Patrick and Allen got into the backfield quickly to trip him up. It's third down.
And Juwan Williams, number 7'3", the right tackle. This is tough. You're a sophomore. You're trying to go against one of the top defensive ends. He's going to go inside. Watch this move. It's very subtle. It's quick. Not a lot of wasted motion, Rocky, from this player. He's very technically sound.
Yeah, very efficient, no question.
Big J.J. Watt fan, loves watching J.J. video, and the interception, the pass thrown behind the receiver. And look who it is. Hamp Cheevers, his 7th pick of the season, the most in the country, and he takes it 22 yards the other way.
Super aggressive corners here. They may be undersized, but they understand the play. But that's a ball that's thrown behind the wide receiver. That's DJ Matthews getting his first pass. Watch that. Throws it on the inside. Poorly thrown ball. That's 2 now for DeAndre Francois, and he's got to be disappointed. Now he's shaking his hands thinking, you know, it could be him, could be the receiver. But either way, both of those players weren't on the same page.
Second interception of this first half for Francois. And Boston College has it with the short field. Travis Levy is the offset back alongside Anthony Brown. Gonna try the reverse. Everybody getting a touch here. Jeff Smith has to throw it away.
If I drew this play out, Beth, you'd see a lot of scribble. So we may just let it run.
You'd run out of ink if you tried to draw that one up.
Coach Adazio talked about, look, we got a lot of trick plays. We're going to try them today. You know, they feel like they can get some of these DBs to bite. Good job by Florida State not falling back.
That was when you ran out in the street, but there was nobody left to run out to the Brown station wagon and button hook. And now the officials are getting together.
Well, with so many pitches, I'm trying to figure out who the eligible receiver was.
I ran out of reverses.
The tight end was there, which was the last guy. But it's a smart play, though. If you don't have it, you got to throw it away. At least they don't lose yards.
There's no intentional grounding on the play. There was a receiver in the area. Second down.
You get tipped by Frederick Jones right here, too, I think.
And there's a receiver at the bottom 55, of your screen right in the area there. So, yep, it gets tipped as well.
On second down, AJ Dillon bounces to the outside, caught from behind by Brian Burns. And Brian able to hold him up till some buddies came.
It's amazing. I mean, he's so strong and powerful. I mean, he does look, he's got a little bounce in his step. Little jump cut on that last play. He's got excellent feet. 250 pounds, folks. No body fat on this young man. He is a specimen.
6 yards away from 1,000 on the season. Will he get it right here? Cutting back inside and cut down at the 40. Nasruddin went low. And it's fourth down.
Well, Brian Burns is going to get tested on the edge today. He's got tight ends cracking on him. He's going to have to be active. You can't just rush the quarterback. It's a good job of funneling it out and let your DBs come down and make a play. Now, fourth down. Looks like BC is going to take a chance here, 4th and 4.
Anthony Brown batted down at the line of scrimmage, and Florida State will take over on downs. Still scoreless in Tallahassee.
I want to break this play down and really watch the true freshman right here, Dennis Briggs. Quarterback's trying to find Sweeney coming across. He's actually wide open, but Briggs does a nice job of getting his hands up and knocking his football down. Anthony Brown, the quarterback, doesn't even notice him there, and that's a huge play on 4th and 4, Beth.
They've been able to get hands on a couple of throws, holding Boston College to just 75 yards of total offense here in the first half. And it's back to DeAndre Francois. A couple of interceptions thrown today. And after the last 2 games, Anthony, where he was under 50% accuracy, he's under 50% again here in the first half today.
His mentals are going to be tested today. I mean, listen, the first interception he threw was an underthrown ball. And really, I don't know if the route was short on the last interception, but the ball was thrown way before the receiver coming down on his break. So 2 poor passes by Francois.
Looking to go up top and coming back to make the catch. Down at the 25-yard line is Tamarian Terry. 32 yards.
Tamarian Terry's been doing this all season. The ball's underthrown again, really, Beth. It gets bobbled, and he's able to get his hands under it one more time. Watch this. He double catches it. It's really good coverage there by Sebastian, getting his arm in there, but he's able to track the football and lock it in.
Francois ran out of time, throws it away.
Now watch this. Look at the concentration. Sebastian gets his arm in, and that ball's about to hit the ground, coming out of his hands, and he's able to snatch it quickly. He is a prospect. This kid is a playmaker, Beth. He's 6'4", 205 pounds. They really like what he's done this season. He's come on strong, especially at the end of the year.
Averaging nearly 20 yards per catch. He's averaging a touchdown nearly every 4th catch this year. Designed run for Francois down to the 20.
That's the second design run we've seen out of Francois, something that's normally not a part of his repertoire, but I know Florida State fans love to see more of it.
You're right. You know, Willie Taggart talked. I asked him, do you like running quarterbacks, passing quarterbacks? He said you like to have a good piece of both of those elements, and you know, if Francois can run the ball a little more, they can get themselves some gains. But here we go again.
Offense, number 73, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's 3 different O-linemen that have a penalty called on them here in the first half.
And that gets frustrating. You know, Coach said that word multiple times in our meeting. It's frustrating, or we're close, we're almost there. You get a big play, 2nd and 5, 3rd and 5, and now you get pushed back. The 3rd and 10 puts a lot of pressure on your quarterback here. Makes it easier for the defense to make plays.
Francois has Akers alongside him. They need to get down to the 15 for a first down. The throw is a completion, but it is short of the marker to the 18-yard line. DJ Matthews, a gain of 7, and what do you do here on 4th down?
You take your points. I mean, hey, I take a chance here. If I'm the offensive play caller and give your guys a chance, you got to run a route that's at least 10 yards, though, Beth. Catching it at 7 yards is not going to help your offense.
All right, so here we go. Boston College has already blocked an Aguayo kick once today, a 45-yard attempt. This one will be 35. Number 2, Zach Allen, is the one that got it. Came right up the middle. And this time, Aguayo gets it up and through. And the lead for Florida State, 3-0.
And here's big number 17, Charlie Ward, Heisman Trophy winner 25 years ago. Charlie, just talk about some of the memories from that experience.
Well, it was definitely a great year for us. We had one mishap. It was against Notre Dame, fighting Irish, but we were able to overcome that game. And there was a lot of great memories during that time, but winning the national championship was the best.
So give us your thoughts right now on this Florida State offense, DeAndre Francois. What do you see out there?
Well, he's struggling today, making some decisions, but defensively we stepped up our game and bailed us out. But I think, you know, when it's all said and done, we'll continue to play well, offensively, hopefully, and defensively continue to pick it up.
And we're seeing some of your highlights right now. Charlie, tell us what you're up to. Obviously, you had a great career in basketball in the NBA for over a decade. What are you doing right now with your time?
Well, I'm currently the boys basketball coach at Florida High here in Tallahassee, and I do a lot of public speaking.
Charlie, thank you so much.
All right, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Rocky. Charlie Ward, the 2-sport star here at Florida State. Boy, was he fun to watch on the football field and on the basketball field.
It was. I remember him from the Knicks. I mean, just some memorable games on this field. And was there a little tension, Rocky, there? Notre Dame, he kind of got a little started to puff his chest out a little bit when he started talking to you.
The Irish, by the way, right now, early in the third quarter, leading Syracuse 20-0. There's your Notre Dame update, Ron.
Yeah, right before we're getting going, he looked at me out of the corner and I said, "Where'd you used to play? You play at Notre Dame?" I was like, "Yeah," and he kind of got a little bit of a smirk or a grin, whatever it was.
Intercepted. Anthony Brown picked off for the second time. It's Stanford Samuels. And Florida State's in business with a short field.
Yeah, Stanford Samuels is just going to really just jump right on this. He's on the coverage underneath, and he just falls into this play. They're really baiting the quarterback. Anthony Brown just tries to get that corner in there, and there's Charlie Ward. He's happy about that defensive play.
Illegal block in the back. Number 5 on the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Let's check into the studio right now for an update with Chris.
All right, let's go over to T. Boone Pickens Stadium, West Virginia, Oklahoma State. Will Greer here finding Sills. I mean, you just throw it in his air, he's going to come up with it. Over on ABC, West Virginia with the lead. A little bit of a surprise here. Stevie Scott carries it in for Indiana. Pretty easy against that Michigan defense, 7-3. Hoosiers on top.
Well, still a lot to be decided in both the Big Ten East and the participants in the Big 12 championship game this year.
Yeah, you know, there is a lot to be played for as we get into the final weeks of the season. And, you know, for this game, Beth, these two quarterbacks, I think these coordinators for both teams have to find a way to get their quarterbacks into a bit of a groove. And right now, Florida State with another penalty.
False start. Offense. Number 6. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So that's 4 different guys up front that have been penalized. That's the tight end McKitty.
So many self-inflicted mistakes for both these teams here today.
It's our third false start of the half. Rocky checking out the action down on the field. Beth Mowins and Anthony Becht upstairs, and almost a 5th interception. That hit Lucas Dennis right in the numbers.
Tamarian is trying to run an inside route. He gets blocked up by the defender. Watch when he comes out of it. He's not able to come in that zone that Francois wants to be in. So receiver doesn't get underneath his defender. Now there's a safety sitting right under that. Dennis threw it right at him. Very fortunate that we didn't have another interception by a quarterback.
8:20 to go, and what's been a bit of a sloppy first half here for both sides. Francois on the rollout off the hands of a diving receiver, Matthews.
And trying to get him on the move here to the left side, and that's a tough catch. I mean, look, Matthews is a guy that can make those kind of catches, but got to put it on the receivers coming out of the break. He's a little late on the throw. Just got to calm down. You know, when you're 3rd and 15, 2nd and 15, just kind of messes up the continuity of what you're trying to call as a play caller. And now you're trying to force things to make big plays.
Holding their first lead in their last 13 quarters. And what has been a tough stretch of the schedule here. They run it there, and it's well short, and the Boo Birds are out. It's 4th down.
And guys, you just wonder, is it time for James Blackman to come in and quarterback this offense? Just needs some sort of spark, something to get him going.
Well, he just looked up into the crowd, Rocky, and sort of, hey, put his hands down to the fans or to somebody behind him there. But you can sense he's getting a little antsy for an opportunity. Logan Tyler to punt it away to Michael Walker here, who's back at his own 10. Walker telling his teammates to stay away from it. It's a bit short and out of bounds around the 20. 3-0 FSU on top. On mobile. Well, who's in this week? Alabama, they rolled over the Citadel in the second half today. Clemson's got Duke tonight. Notre Dame is beating Syracuse, and Michigan is trailing to Indiana. Your top 4 this week. After the entire top 10, Anthony, won last week. For the first time in the 5-year history of the playoff, there was no movement up top.
Yeah, I agree with their top 6 for sure. You know, listen, this is a season where, you know, this last week's going to have some really big games. Oklahoma potentially playing, you know, West Virginia if they win today. Big 12, just an opportunity. And right now, I got to give Florida State's defense has come to play today, you know, causing turnovers, doing a lot of things. That's the Kalen Brooks there. That's Derek Brooks, the great linebacker here at Florida State, and getting penetration, some good push. And really, you know, you got to hold on when Dillon gets the football, and that's how you bring him down. You gang tackle him. Nashville Dean doing a nice job of inserting himself at the safety position. See if Florida State can get off the field again.
On 3rd down, the throw, 1st down, Tommy Sweeney. And that'll move the chains.
Yeah, they like Sweeney. He's one of the top receivers on this team. He's a blocker, a little bit of a throwback player. That's a nice throw. That's the first completed pass after going 0 for 6 for Anthony Brown.
21 yards on that strike. They try to go fast tempo again, and Florida State gets the timeout.
Florida State, their first.
Well, a Boston College offense that averages over 400 yards a game and over 30 points per game, held scoreless and under 100 yards so far. The defensive effort has been strong for Florida State, including a couple of takeaways.
And Coach Adazio is, again, worried about, you know, he said we practiced well this week, but he kept preaching. Don't lose twice. Don't lose twice to Clemson.
A challenge of that last pass play.
Coach Taggart called a timeout. We're going to see. We're trying to see here if this ball was not a complete catch. When the ball hits the ground, you got to complete the catch to the ground. That's going to be that's going to come back, Beth.
Well, it didn't. Let's see. Does he? How many steps does he get here before the ball pops out? Is this a fumble?
I don't know if he's got control completely. Oh, right. That's a good point. Let's see. I don't know if he really truly has control. The ball's in. Has he got it there?
I think he's got it there, right? 1, 2, 3.
I don't know if that first step will be enough, but we'll. Either way, just off that, he didn't complete the catch to the ground, so they can go off that, or if they feel like.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
Okay.
So that should cost Florida State another timeout for losing the challenge.
Obviously, Sweeney must have recovered the ball as well if they thought maybe it was a fumble, but his knee was definitely down. So they're saying he completed that, had 3 steps, and his knee was down.
Boston College trying to get something going offensively. Quiet so far on the road here. And you mentioned it at the top of the program, Steve Adazio, saying we can't let Clemson beat us twice. We can't have a hangover from a disappointing loss a week ago. And the offense certainly has stumbled out of the blocks here.
Yeah, I mean, the balance is usually what this team is known for. Only
Marvin Wilson, excuse me. So Frederick Jones will move into his place. Marvin, a big-time recruit out of Houston. Looking for a little more pass rush today. They don't have a sack. They've been able to force a couple of turnovers. It's 3rd and 8 here on Brown's throw out of bounds. He's just 4 for 11, 33 yards today.
Doing a little play action pass. I like, you know, on the film, a little more of the RPO read option pull and throw inside to get it to the tight ends and slot receivers. They're trying to do more of a little pro style effect in the passing game. Just hasn't been successful. They got to gain confidence in this young man on some of these throws.
Rifles that one to his tight end. Caught for a first down, down inside the 40-yard line. It's Sweeney. Samuels had the coverage. They got a bunch of guys out there, a troop of tight ends that are about 6'5", 250. A multitude of mass, if you will, Anthony. And Sweeney's the top guy, and here he is again. Check it. No, that's Adrizi. Knocked out of bounds at the 4.
It's a nice design play. Watch Adrizi. He's just going to be attached to the line. He's going to sneak out here. They have another receiver that's going over the top, and they kind of lose track of where he's at. You see the corner running with the receiver down the sidelines for a gain of 35 yards. Well executed. Again, another tight end. You got to find these guys best. Sometimes there's 2, there's 3 of them in there. They got 3 in the game now,
including one lining up as a fullback in the eye. In front of Dillon, 1st and goal. AJ with a nice block from that tight end. Touchdown behind Ray Martin. And Boston College has the lead.
Got the big uglies pulling around here. Good job by the fullback, making a big block on the edge, and that really was the difference. Maybe a hold on Brian Burns on the outside by the tight end, but the referee doesn't see. Look at pulling on his collar. They missed that one, but that's a walk-in because of it, and I could be happy about that when they watch the film after this game.
Tight ends most of the way with Sweeney, Adrizi, and then the nice block by Martin getting Dillon into the end zone. 7-3. Boston College, 77 yards in 8 plays. Here's how the ACC is shaping up. We know Clemson is into the ACC title game for the 4th year in a row, and we now know who they're going to be playing. Congratulations to Pitt, the 6th different team in the last 6 years to win the Coastal, and a season of headaches for the perennial powers of Miami and Florida State, and already a change in the works at Louisville. Bobby Petrino let go. A lot of talk swirling around Purdue head coach and former quarterback Jeff Brom. You think they may go in a different direction?
Yeah, I'm going to cut him out of the equation. I mean, that makes a lot of sense for people. I don't like the move laterally. I like Scott Satterfield, Mike Norvell. These guys have proven themselves, especially Coach Satterfield. He's developed talent. He's recruited well, and I think he deserves an opportunity. Luke Fickell at Cincinnati, look what he's done in just a short time, turning that program around. And you saw one other name, Charlie Strong on the bottom.
Going back.
Maybe bring the go back to what worked, right? Sometimes it wasn't broke. You bring back what was there.
And Anthony, I live in Cincinnati. A lot of Bearcat fans are hoping Luke Fickell is not mentioned in that conversation. I mean, but what a job he's done, turn this program around in his 2nd year, 9 wins. You know, they're going to face UCF here today.
Rocky, what do you think of that matchup? That could be a huge win for Fickell and the Bearcats.
Oh, my God. Everybody in Cincinnati buzzing the entire week about that game. And like you said, it's just, I mean, I look at their schedule for the year, and I thought, okay, maybe there's 4, maybe 5 wins on their book. They're led by their defense. Warren, that running back, is just running over people and just really doing a good job. I think they have a chance. If they keep things, you know, kind of tight early and don't let it get out of hand, I think they have a chance late.
And the reason why his name's going to become popular, Rocky, and he's developed talent. You're able to get players to go out there and really play that aren't 3, 4, 5-star guys, and he's done it quickly. That's big. That's things that Willie Taggart's going to have. These are the things you have to do to get that kind of talent to succeed on the field.
21 yards there to DJ Matthews, who found some open space out across the 40-yard line. Cam Akers flips it on the reverse. Harrison across midfield, 1st down, and down to the 45. 13 yards there.
Yeah, a little reverse action here, and then Cam Akers going to flip it to Harrison. Harrison getting some work today along with Keyshawn Held. Watch the quarterback here trying to get a block right here. Wasn't great. Maybe some people will call it a little bit of a flop, but hey, he did his job, got his hands on the defender. He's a competitor. You got to like it.
Has some time and fires that one up.
Charlie Ward got it.
Nice catch by Charlie.
Charlie's like, who the heck you throwing that ball to? Watch his face here. This is I think it was a one-handed catch, Beth. But watch, he's like, where are you going? Like, what? Okay, where's the receiver? Very serious catch there.
He's a very stoic guy. There's no question about it.
He's like, well, just trying to figure out what's going on here.
You got a national champion in the house, the Heisman Trophy winner right there in the house, in Charlie Ward. And worth noting for the fans that may just be joining us again, the streak's at stake. 41 years in a row with a winning record. 36 years in a row going to a bowl. You know they've been hearing it from guys like Charlie and all the greats that have been through here through the Bobby Bowden years. They got to keep the streak alive. And a win today keeps that hope alive. Trey McKitty, excuse me. That's Laquan Murray for 16 more yards.
Now, this guy knows how to run routes, Murray. He's in the right spots all the time. He's a senior. 48 catches coming into this game. He's the guy I'd start looking for if I'm DeAndre Francois.
143 yards passing here in the first half. On the ground, Akers down to the 21. 1,000-yard rusher a year ago, set a new freshman record here at Florida State after arriving as the top running back recruit in the country. Hasn't been the same this season. Trying to make some amends late. He's lunging down inside the 15, and a studio update.
Okay, Beth, halftime reports coming your way in just a little bit. We'll give you all the highlights of that crazy Ohio State game earlier today. We'll also show you what's happening at Yankee Stadium with Notre Dame. They're doing just fine in West Virginia. Big road test at T-Boone Pickens. All those highlights and a whole lot more. Jim Mora and Emmanuel Acho will join me. We'll see you in a bit.
Well, Mackenzie Milton's got something to do tonight in that Cincinnati game, but he was talking a little smack to the Irish this week, who, oh, by the way, are beating Syracuse 29-0 right now.
Well, he can talk a little smack because he's backed it up for most of his career. The kid hasn't lost a game in over a year and a half, and just a tremendous playmaker for them. You know, we got to see the team live. He didn't play against East Carolina, the game that we called, but you know, watching him on film, breaking him down, he's a problem for the defenses. Watch this guy, just ability to get away, throw the ball, awkward positions. You know, he's been really impressive as a deep threat. He's got a lot of speed to throw to at the receiver. And then also tight window throws. Look at that, on a dime with 4 defenders around, and you know what? He could beat you with his legs as well. If he continues to play the way he is, I wouldn't see a reason why he wouldn't be a factor, at least going to the Heisman Trophy ceremony, because he's been that kind of prolific player for this team.
22-game winning streak. That is essentially a New Year's 6 elimination bowl game tonight. UCF, Cincinnati, Boise, and Utah State, the 4 ranked teams from outside the Power 5. The pitch here to Matthews, thought about the throw.
Throw it away.
And it'll be thrown down for a big loss. Max Richardson read that one the whole way, and a loss of 9.
You know, DJ Matthews is a sophomore, Beth, but when you run a play like this, you got to go give him all the other scenarios, all the bad things that can happen. So if he's behind the line of scrimmage, you don't take a play behind. Right here, if it's not there, there's nothing else. There's no other options. Throw the ball out of bounds. He tries to make something happen looking back, and they get a huge loss now because of that, making it 2nd and 19.
Under 2 minutes to go. Francois incomplete. Had a man at the 6. McKitty hit by Will Harris.
And he throws a fireball in that hole, and when you're a tight end or a receiver coming out of the break like that, you've got to be ready to catch the football. Watch this. As soon as McKitty turns around, you got to get your head around and find the football. If anything we know about Francois, he's trying to get that ball in there fast, and if you're not ready for it, it's going to go right off your face mask like it did there.
Third down and 19. They can still get the first down around the 3-yard line. Trips left. Francois looking that way and delivering down to the 9-yard line to Helton. It's going to be 4th down.
I would go for this here. It's 4th down. Again, coach is going to go with the kick, but I mean, listen, you got to score some points here. 7-3. I know you're trying to keep it close. They're a little indecisive. They have some timeouts if they want to think about it. And I get it, you know, it's 5 yards to get, but you got to carry a little momentum. Guys are kind of moving. You got them, the defense on their heels a bit, but they're going to go probably with the sure thing here.
25-yarder for Aguayo. Made a 35-yarder and had a 45-yarder blocked.
Florida State, their second.
And Florida State will call the timeout. And perhaps using a moment to discuss what you were referring to. Do we bring the offense back out here?
Well, you know, any other real scenario during a season where your team is, you know, in a position to, you know, potentially win a division or a conference championship, you go with the short points in this kind of game. But Florida State just trying to get something positive going to halftime. It's been so up and down for this football team all year. You got 2 interceptions by your quarterback, finally finding a rhythm. I'd say you go for it. I mean, if you don't, you got him pinned back. You still got a couple timeouts. I think they have 1 left. Maybe get the ball back again and try for that late field goal. But again, Florida State just got to get in some kind of a flow in this football game.
They are trailing Boston College 7-3. They will stick with the kick with a 1:01 to go in the half.
Anthony, during that timeout, I saw Alec Eberle, the center, trying to make a case, I think, to go for it.
He's a senior, man. You know, sometimes, again, this isn't a normal situation. Maybe there's a fake here, but again, he's probably going for the short points.
Yarder is good, and that'll make it 7-6. BC on top, 57 seconds to go in the half. We got a great one for you on Monday Night Football. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs at 9-1. Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, and the Rams at 9-1. It's on in LA. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown, served by Applebee's at 6 Eastern, with the game to follow. They've already both thrown for over 3,000 yards. Mahomes the top in the NFL in passing touchdowns.
I'll tell you, Beth, I'm really surprised. Both of these quarterbacks, especially Patrick Mahomes, I was not sold that he would be this kind of a player in the NFL. You know, Big 12, the offensive system that they run, I thought it was going to be a huge kind of learning curve for him. But I think some of the things you've seen him do, backing up Alex Smith year 1, he's really been groomed well. Andy Reid's done a great job. Those numbers that he put up in college, those are crazy. 5,000 yards in a season was unbelievable. But, you know, again, thinking about that translating to the NFL was crazy to me, but he's really picked this thing up, man. He is one of the best players I've seen on the season throughout the league.
Florida State has an injured player down, and it's one of their offensive linemen, Derek Kelly. As Rocky Boyman reported earlier today, they've had 9 different starters up front using 9 different starting lineups. They already have lost Landon Dickerson. He's out hurt. Cole Minshew is out hurt today. And Kelly, their starting left tackle, will walk gingerly to the side.
And he's their best player, and that's a huge loss. I
think it's going to be Zach Allen coming right through him.
Right on the middle. A lot of pressure coming from that side. Zach Allen right there, almost getting another block. You really got to set in there when you're going against a guy like Zach Allen, because he's a premier defensive end, but he doesn't take plays off. He continues to push. He continues to try to make plays for his team regardless of the situation, and you just got to know your personnel.
Zach Allen, 2 on the defensive side. AJ Dillon, number 2 on the offensive side for BC. Solid so far in the first half. 18 carries, 65 yards for AJ. They'll try the return right here with Michael Walker, and he'll come up just short of the 20. Let's take a look at who's been putting in the work. Brought to you by Carhartt, and it is Mr. Dillon.
It's like hitting a tree stump every time you go at him as a defensive player. I mean, the kid's powerful. Not too many blocks there on the edge, but he creates. He gets a big hole, and when there are holes and he gets to the second and third level, that's not good. You better start chasing him down. This is his touchdown run on the outside a couple series ago, but I'd say a heavy dose of him in the second half. It looks like they're going to take it in, take a knee here, and live with the 7-6 lead that they have.
He's gone over 1,000 yards on the season. I looked at those legs. I said, Saquon Barkley. You said, no, those aren't big enough. AJ's are bigger.
I'm telling you, man, this kid's a monster. No body fat. I was looking for a little bump or something hanging over the pants.
Nothing.
Kid came out with a half shirt. He's got ripped abs. Just unbelievable, man. Kid's put together. When he's healthy, man, they're pushing him. He's going to be a Heisman guy next year for sure.
Since he took over as the starter last year, he's the best running back in the country in terms of yards per game at nearly 150 as a starter over the last year and a half. BC will take the lead into the locker room on the road, trying to spoil Florida State's plans to take a step closer to bowl eligibility. And BC will receive to start out the second half. 7-6 Boston College after this short.
Making points on the board. 4
combined turnovers, but none of those takeaways were converted into points. Let's check in with Rocky.
Guys, I caught up with Steve Adazio there at halftime. He said, look, early in that first quarter, they were down on the 2-yard line, had some penalties, got kept out of the end zone. That really sent him into a tailspin here, the turnovers. But he did imply, Anthony, I think you'll be happy. We're probably going to see a steady diet of AJ Dillon here in the second half.
Okay.
And, of course, Brown will come out throwing here. Kobe White down to the 30-yard line, and a big play for the Eagles.
This was nice. A little scissors route here. They're going to cross on the left side of your screen. You'll see the tight end goes one way. You get the DB crossing. Nobody's home to take the receiver, Kobe White. That's a nice start for the quarterback for 42 yards.
Biggest play of the day for BC. And here's that diet starting for AJ Dillon.
He spins. He's always just falling forward. And then with his frame, his size, a 6'3", even if he just goes straight down, it's an extra 3 yards.
Preseason ACC Player of the Year after he won rookie honors last year with a 1,000-yard season. DeMarcus Christmas able to wrap up Dillon.
And that's what you have to kind of go after. It's a heavy dose. Dillon is a back. He'll get 2, 3, 5, pop a 6, get a 10, and then all of a sudden he'll wear you down as a defense and get a deep one on a big run. They got Levy right in, number 23. Is more of a quicker, explosive guy that maybe bounces some of those runs outside. See if they can convert here on third down.
Smith and White to the bottom of your screen. They're going to run it with Levy, and Burns got into the backfield to corral him, and it's 4th down.
It's a nice job by Burns. We haven't heard much of him. We thought he maybe got held on the touchdown, but watch him. He's fast enough to chase down runs on the backside. They don't peel back to block him. Tight end pulls around. You better find a way to get a body on him because he's fast enough to disrupt like a tiger coming out of that backfield.
And BC showing that they will go here on 4th down for the 4th time today. They double team Burns to buy the quarterback some time, and the pass is incomplete. And the Florida State defense holds.
That's the 3rd time they try to go 4 downs, and they've been stopped every time. Excellent job by the defense. They try to run a little pivot route, bounce him back out. He gets a little separation, but the ball is just thrown too far outside. Again, the accuracy problems by both QBs. If you're going to throw that ball, you got to put it right on the outside shoulder. He doesn't get it done.
Looked like a little lane opened up there for the quarterback to try and run for the 1st down yardage, but he opted to sling it. And now it's DeAndre Francois' turn for the first time here in the 3rd. Got the field goal late to end the first half. Cam Akers. Picks up 5 yards there. The leading rusher again this season for the Seminoles. Had 400-yard rushing games last year, but doesn't have any yet this year. And that's been a big difference behind that banged-up offensive line playing in this new system. And Zach Allen with the sack of Francois.
This is a mismatch on the outside. Sophomore Jawan Williams right here. He's coming off the edge, and again, power, but the push. Not able to get a punch on him because he's so big, and it's just a slight slap of the arms. No wasted motion. He doesn't get crazy on his pass rush. He sees his hands are low. He swipes them. That's enough for him to get around, and he makes a big play. And
False
again,
start. Offense, number 73, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
I feel like I'm holding my breath every time they take a snap. You know?
So is Juwan.
Yeah, is it going to? Well, I mean, listen, he's a little worried.
Yeah.
You give up a big play like that, all of a sudden you got to regroup as a lineman. He's a young player. Again, they've had multiple offensive linemen playing throughout the season, and when you're going against a kid like Zach Allen, that's a challenge. He's one of the best defensive ends in the country. NFL scouts predict him to be late first, early second round, and he's shown a little bit of that today on the outside.
4th false start for that O-line, and it's 3rd and 16. And Allen got a hand on it, knocked it down. A one-man wrecking crew that possession for BC.
I'm telling you, man, he's just so cognizant of what's going on in the football game. Okay, yeah, I got a pass rush here. I'm not going to beat him. What else can I do to affect the play? Put your hands up and knock it down. Rocky, I know one of his favorite players plays at the Texans.
That's right, J.J. Watt. He watches breakdown film of him, but what was great about that play, he comes inside, but the presence of mind to know to time the jump of when the hands come up, that's just smart football.
Tyler boots it away. An immediate collision. 30 teams on top right now. And then a bunch of one-loss teams down below them. And still undefeated, the 4th undefeated UCF. They'll be playing Cincinnati tonight on ABC.
We're going on the road for West Virginia. Oklahoma State played a very tight game against Texas. Oklahoma back-to-back weeks, and West Virginia now taking care of business at their place. That's going to be a big win if they can hold on. And if you can believe, the Citadel was tied with Alabama at the half, trying to figure out that triple option.
And Anthony, one thing I love about West Virginia is they actually play a little defense in the Big 12, giving up just 21 points per game.
Wait, can you repeat that? What you like? You said you just liked West Virginia. Do we have that audio?
3rd and 7 right here. Anthony Brown out into the flat, bobbled and dropped. And it's 4th down, intended for Travis Levy. And the true freshman Jaden Woodby had the coverage.
It's a nice job. It's man-to-man across the board. And again, Anthony Brown throwing a ball to a player that's literally at the line of scrimmage. Nothing down the field for him to look for. And that's a good job by Woodby making that tackle. Anthony Brown shaking his head.
Yeah, it's frustration
it's been
continues.
a frustration for him, and they speak very highly of his skill set. They really like him. They feel like he's in the process of becoming a great player. Had an ACL injury last year. Said he's taking some time to get back on that.
Taking a risk on the return. It'll buy him 9 yards for Matthews. But let's get back to that playoff picture and the predictions right here. We'll start out with you, Anthony.
Well, you know, it's all about big wins, what you've done lately. I think everyone has Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Michigan in the top 4. You know, this is a big win for Notre Dame. I mean, they're not going to hop Clemson in my eyes, but those are pretty uniform throughout. And I got Washington State at 6. Yeah, I mean, you know, look, they still got some ball to play, and they're going to have a big game potentially against Washington. I like how this is looking as of today.
And Anthony, I cannot believe I have West Virginia at 6 and you don't.
News.
I'm actually impressed with their defense, and
See,
a little bit ashamed of you right now.
My reverse psychology has won. I was able to get West Virginia on the board without actually placing them on the board. You like that, right?
Yes, but I'm boycotting that because I want an 18 playoff and I want it now.
Oh, here she goes.
I want it now.
So you like conference champions, right, to go into this?
Championship should mean something, number one.
So if you go with 8 teams in a conference champion wins, you say they should get in automatically?
Yes.
So
yes.
if Northwestern, are they playing right now against Minnesota?
Absolutely. If Northwestern beats Michigan or Ohio State, and
you think they're worthy of being in the conference?
Absolutely, yes.
I don't know about all
yes.
But what about in the Pac-12 when there's not a bunch of great teams? You're going to hold out an SEC team to put them
still
in?
If you're going to go 8, it's got to be the best
you can get a second SEC team in there. There's only 5 conference champs. That's 3 spots. You can go Notre Dame. You can go 2 SEC or 2 Big Ten. If you want to give UCF a chance, you can. There's a big-time catch for Murray deep downfield.
And you know what? Shevers is right on this. Watch him swat. Look at the strength in the hands of Murray to pull that in. The senior receiver, he's not going out like that. He's been getting hot right now catching the football. Look for him to continue what he's done so far against his secondary of Boston College.
Biggest play of the game for Florida State, 45 yards. The throw inside the 10, down to the 4-yard line. First and goal. Nasir Upshur.
Deep over by the tight end. Upshur getting a chance. A Philly kid down here in Florida. Francois gets time, Beth. You give him some time, he can do some damage. 2 big passes for Florida State.
30 more yards there. Akers, touchdown, and Florida State has the lead.
We know they can do it, Beth, right? I mean, these are the things that scratch your head if you're a Florida State fan. 2 plays down the field, then you get a run for a touchdown, and you're thinking, man, is this what the team could be? Been so up and down, so lopsided, but it's a heck of a drive by them to come out here in the second half.
85 yards in 1:42 seconds. Francois' arm getting it done.
Some seniors, some juniors, some veteran players making plays for this team. Murray with the big grab. Hey, when in doubt, throw it to the tight end. Upshur with the big play. And Akers finally finding the end zone, shaking off tacklers, getting there for Florida State.
Peyton Manning. Halle Berry wondering what Jared Goff was talking about in his audible the other day on social media. Boston College trailing. They'll take a chance here on the return with Michael Walker. A flag is down. Now a second flag is down on the return out to the 35. And now another flag. Zaquandre White involved in a fracas over there on the BC sideline, and
they're going to offset or have a couple flags on BC to start.
This may be a problem for White right here. Number 27.
Yeah, watch him here as he continues to go to the sideline. Not sure, he gets pulled back by a player. And always find the second guy, right? I don't know about that, but I mean, just walk away. Sometimes you just turn away and just let it go. Personal foul came after.
Yeah, so that would tag it on.
Exactly. So whatever.
Although there were other flags here first.
They'll take them back and then they'll bring them forward.
Notre Dame has now gone final, by the way. They beat Syracuse 36-3. And Michigan losing to Indiana at the half. West Virginia's up 10 over Oklahoma State midway through the third. Some of the other games of note going on.
Lazio's not happy. What he's hearing, I don't think.
Longtime assistant with Urban Meyer at Florida. Success a couple of years as a head coach at Temple. And now in his 6th season at Boston College. Taking over a 10-loss team, trying to turn it into a 10-win team this year if they can win out.
There are multiple fouls on the play. During the return, holding against Boston College, holding against Boston College, personal foul, face mask against Florida State. Those penalties will all set, and the ball will be re-kicked. After the play was over, personal foul, Florida State, 15-yard penalty, re-kick.
He's a little parched
Number
after that
27 on the personal foul.
And that was the right call on White. So let's see, are they will assess that here on the re-kick? Yep. And that'll push Logan Tyler back here to his own 20-yard line to boot it.
I was watching Ricky Brown, the Boston College special teams coach, really getting these guys amped up. They know they got a great opportunity for a return here.
Yeah, the deep man Walker around the 13-yard line right now.
Sometimes as a kicker here, you want to kick it so hard, it goes so fast that the returner catches it so early that they get that head start. So he wants to make sure he gets good foot under this one, keep it up in the air as high as he can so his guys can trek down the field and get closer to the receiving returner.
Walker from the 10.
All the free space.
Trying to bounce to the edge, stretching it out, and Walker's return out near the 40-yard line. And a return of 27. Well, this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. And for that, we say thank you, All-State. (13-7), Florida State with the lead. 8:22 to go here in the third. Beth Mowins, Anthony Becht, and Rocky Boyman with you.
This offensive line, Beth, for BC, 160-plus starts coming into this game. They got to find a way to get this guy, AJ Dillon, some holes, because if he can get into the second, third level, he can do a lot of damage. His average is low, but he wears on you. He's got to have a big series here because Florida State's done a nice job of taking away the passing game of Boston College tonight.
They told us they wanted him to get it 25 to 30 times. Well, he's carried it 23 times for 78 yards so far. Only one of those carries for negative yardage today. And here is the pitch to Dillon, and cut down for a second negative yardage play.
Asante Samuel coming off the edge, and I don't know, a healthy AJ Dillon maybe sticks his foot there and gets up the field a little quicker. It's been tough, on him all season. You get a lot of those carries, 24, 25. That ankle starts wearing down a little bit as he's getting tackled and taking those low blows.
The pitch back to Brown for the flea flicker, and he missed the deep ball. He went instead to Jeff Smith, and it looked like he had White further downfield open.
He did. Watch this. Receiver slip up. There's nobody there. He's looking. He's just got to throw it up high. He decides to come on the outside. Big opportunity there lost. I mean, obviously that's a two-man route, but you got to be cognizant of where the safety is. It's poorly executed play on another trick play by Boston College.
Third down. Brown rifles it across midfield. First down, BC to White. A gain of 20 down to the 45.
You know, both of these quarterbacks have done some things that I'm just like, not good. And then all of a sudden, against some adversity, they come back and they make throws like this.
To totally redeem themselves.
And coaches are just like, man, that's the guy I've been coaching all week. But I'm telling you, young quarterback here for BC. Francois picking up steam. Might get a little excitement here.
Little play action. And a receiver open inside the 30. I believe that was his tight end, Tommy Sweeney, and a gain of 15.
Yeah, Tommy Sweeney, man, I'll tell you, he's just a throwback, 260 pounds, understands. He's a technician of the game. Watch him at the top of his route. He leans, presses off a little bit, gets the space he needs against Nazarene, and then right here, he's going to take out a couple Florida State players if he can. Down goes Frazier right there, 77. Little smile on his face, falling down.
Pull up the middle for Dillon. Dean grabbed him around the 26-yard line. Sweeney, by the way, 3 catches now for 52 yards.
And guys, one thing you notice down here when they go with those bunch formations, it forces the defense to defend every gap. So what that does, it brings off players on the third level, those safeties that can help wrap up Dillon.
Brown into the end zone, touchdown! Jeff Smith puts BC back on top.
Make sure he brings it in here. I thought Anthony Brown threw this a little late, but Jeff Smith tracked that football into his arms, locked it against his chest, completes the catch. Ball doesn't hit the ground, locks it in. That's a heck of a job by the senior.
Jeff Smith had more pass attempts tonight, a couple, than catches. And he makes his first one of the night count. 26-yard TD. 14-13 BC. BC with the 1-point lead over Florida State. 6:36 to go here in the third. The penultimate game of the regular season for these two sides. It looks like there's going to be a face mask flag on that. The return for Helton, 31 yards, and probably more to come.
He may have got his shoulder pad, but we'll see here.
Michael Walker, I believe, number 3. Let's see.
I think
that looks like a pad, yeah.
I don't know if that's where the penalty is. They may have saw a hold or something.
There's no foul on the play for a face mask.
There you go.
First down, Florida State.
Good call by the officials. Let's take a look at today's hardest working player, brought to you by Duluth Trading Company.
Yeah, it's Zach Allen for BC, defensive end number 2. Doing it all on the field goal team, getting that block, chasing down the run. Had 100 tackles last year at the defensive end position. No wasted movement in his arms. He's very technically sound, and he's got great elusiveness when he doesn't have the rush to get his hands up and knock balls down. He's just been impressive all night long.
And Anthony, NFL coaches love that versatility. This isn't college where there's 90 guys on the sideline, only 45 active. So if you can be a guy that play well in the pass, the run, block kicks, that's good.
He'll get a piece of that tackle in a year where the NFL draft experts think maybe as many as 13 D linemen could go in the first round, including Zach Allen.
You know, the one thing about Zach Allen, he's super accountable every snap, so there's no wasted snaps with him. He's going to bring it on the pass rush. He's excellent job of reading the run. He's got enough speed and short space quickness to get the job done as well. And, you know, he's been a menace. He's a guy you're going to be able to count on all game long.
Going deep, incomplete. We huddled up with Zach.
So, in your best Steve Adazio impersonation, hype us up.
The best one. He's a big about, you know, the team and everything.
Yeah.
So I remember my freshman year, he goes, when your mind's gone, you go to your spirit, and that's where your team is. So that's good. I like that. I like that.
That's where your team is. He's had his hand in a lot of plays for the defense and the special teams, and he's got his hands around the quarterback right there. DeAndre Francois goes down.
Yeah, they bring some heat on the edge on the left-hand side, and again, just falling in to be in the right spot. Zach Allen's always around the football. Just watch him here. He just reads it out. Again, he's pass rushing. He gets a little block. He's just trekking. Quarterback decides to scramble. He comes back off. He's right in play to make the tackle.
And Anthony uses those hands like weapons. He's constantly, all the time, I noticed down here, just batting away the arms of these Florida State offensive linemen.
Punt is away to Walker. Opts not to take the fair catch, and maybe not the best decision of the night for Michael. 43 yards on the punt, and he gets smashed. Like some soccer highlights here at the Florida State facility. Their women's soccer team won their second round matchup yesterday against USF. They will play Southern Cal in the next round. Just in the last 5 years here, the women have done quite well. Both the soccer team and the women's softball team last year winning a national championship for FSU.
Who's up next for the women's soccer team for Florida State? Who they got?
USC.
USC. Yeah.
Won the championship a couple years ago. Southern Cal did. 2nd and 7 here for Brown. And CJ Lewis, yes, he did make the catch.
Tell you what.
It's a nice job coming out. It's a comeback route. Knees down, ball is into his chest, doesn't move. It's a nice job controlling the football.
The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field is a completed catch.
They'll take a look at it. We'll take the break. It certainly appears to be good for BC. And CJ Lewis. So a 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Brown now 50% on the night for 197 yards. He's got a touchdown and a couple of picks. Weaving his way out to the 40-yard line is Dillon. And a gain of 8, Rocky.
Yeah, guys, one thing I'm noticing down here, Anthony Brown, the last few series, ball come out of his hand a lot better. Early on, it was like every time he threw, the point of the football was facing downward. Everything was kind of going down in the ground. His last 2 drives, much different.
We'll run it again with Dillon. Gets the 1st down, and now at about 90 yards rushing on the day, his 26th carry. So he's got nearly gotten the ball every other play tonight for BC.
It's almost at 100 yards, and that's a lot of carries. Guys just playing through pain the entire season. Get some fresh legs in there. Levy, number 23, he's got a chance to go in there and make some things happen too.
Off the play action, Brown incomplete across the middle. A lot of traffic there. Sweeney the intended target.
Big improvement, Beth. Obviously for Anthony Brown coming out of the half. Just couldn't really find a groove in the first half. Second half, he's been much better. And plus, he has the touchdown pass, which was huge late in this game.
They have still been a little antsy in that first half coming off the injury against Clemson, an internal injury that knocked him out of the game. They're now doing a much better job with the balance of Dillon running the football here in the second.
And 3rd down and 3, Beth. And beside the pass here, where's the pass rush for Florida State? I think number 99. Brian Burns on the top of the screen here. Been a little quiet in the pass rush department the last couple weeks. Can they come up big?
They'll run it with Levy. Met right at the line to gain.
We know what they're going to do if they don't get it.
Going for it on 4th hasn't even been a discussion tonight.
AJ Dillon starting to walk onto the field. Hey, it's time for me to come in. This is easy. They're going to give it to him. They did it.
Now this is some BC football. They are working that clock. They are pounding it out on the ground. Dillon will get it, trying the short side of the field. picked up a couple. Dontavius Jackson with the stop, Rocky.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right, Anthony. Just looks like that ankle when he's coming, especially horizontally to a sideline, just doesn't have that plant foot where he can kind of get it north-south. It's really noticeable down here.
Yeah, he's been really good at that. And, you know, as he keeps stringing it out, just no pop in his step to kind of hit those holes the way he wants to, especially on the outside. And again, a lot of carries now for him. This defense has done a good job. They got to stay strong.
There's Brian Burns into the lap of the quarterback, and down goes Anthony Brown.
Well, tight ends versus defensive ends are never good matchups, and that's what they got here on the edge. Watch Brian Burns. He sees a tight end, and he starts salivating a little bit. That's a mismatch all day long. That's a huge play. Haven't seen him in the backfield much getting those sacks, and he finally shows up. That's a huge job for Brian Burns.
Loss of 9, his 24th career sack, and it's 3rd and 18. And Boston College will burn a timeout.
Timeout. Boston College, their first will be a 30-second timeout.
14-13, Boston College with the lead over Florida State. They come in 7-3. It'd be a big deal if they can win out. Of course, they have Syracuse next week and then a bowl game. Only 4 times in BC football history have they had a 10-win season. And Steve Addazio has talked a lot, Anthony, about how things have come together just like they had hoped this year.
Yeah, they really feel good about the team they have. They got some really good players, key players, especially on defense, but yet they have a good mix of young talent. AJ Dillon's only a sophomore. Anthony Brown, their quarterback, who's shown signs here in the second half of life, is only a sophomore as well. But got to give Florida State's defense credit today. This offense has been productive. They are one of the best balanced offenses in the country, running and passing the football. And Florida State's held strong, even on 4th downs when those opportunities have come up. They've held them every single time. So again, Anthony Brown right here. He's got to be smart. 3rd and 18. This defense is feeling confident. You don't want to have a turnover because you're forcing a deep one, trying to get the first down. Critical play.
Brown stepping into it, throws it. It's caught for a first down at the Florida State 35. Kobe White and a gain of 20.
Same play. They got the long one last series. Kobe White runs the same route. Plenty of time and protection. Puts it low. Traps it. Catches it in his chest. Watch this. This is a bender. Bends in. Nobody's there. It's a soft zone on the back end, but nobody converges to the football, and it's an easy throw and catch.
Yeah.
And Anthony, that was amazing. They had 3, the safety deep and 2 cornerbacks, and they just played way too loose, allowed that catch right in front of them.
I think it's safe to say their DBs are pretty fast. You know, like you said, Rocky, why give them that much space? I know you're playing the field, you're playing the zone, keep it in front of you, but there's AJ Dillon limping off the sideline. You know, once you get near those 30, 31 carries tonight, kind of felt that. But this secondary, I think, need to be a little more aggressive on that play to not give up that first down.
On 2nd and 8, Brown incomplete on the overthrow to C.J. Lewis. How about a studio update? Chris Cotter.
Guys, Michigan just battling right now at home against Indiana. Indiana scores right here to take the lead, but Karan Higdon just scored himself. 22-17, Michigan on top.
That's in the 3rd quarter in the big house. Wolverines right now sitting in that number 4 spot. That would be good enough to be in the playoff today. Just a couple weeks remaining leading up to Selection Day, December 2nd. Little screen here for White. He's having himself a good day.
Yeah.
Well, we got a flag, though. It looks like a hold going to bring it back.
Got a couple big tight ends on the edges here for Boston College. And as they're blocking on the outside, watch 85 grab the outside jersey right there, grabbing that cloth.
There's no foul on the play for holding. The result is a first down.
Wow. from the tight end himself, Anthony.
Well, here's the coaching point for 85. Get your hands inside. Don't get your hands on the outside. That'll bring a flag. I'm surprised. Just because from a technique standpoint, not being in the right spot, that usually gets called a lot. Yep. Rarely do they pull those flags away.
Instead, it's the 6th catch for White, 106 yards. His second 100-yard receiving day of the season. There is the 30th rush of the night for Dillon.
I mean, what they must have some cream on the sidelines. They're rubbing on him or something, taking an aspirin in between drives. But he's just been a workhorse, and limpy or not, they just keep him giving a rock.
End of the 3rd quarter, the teams will head. All during the timeout, Willie Taggart was working the officials. David Epperly, the referee there, and he had every right to be after they pulled the flag.
Again, very rarely do you when you get that poor technique, the tight end's hands are out in the shoulder pads, and then you get that tug. That's an easy call. That's why the flag was pulled. Very rarely does that ever get waved off.
That helped keep the drive alive for BC. The pass into the end zone incomplete. It's the 15-play drive over 5 minutes, and it was kept alive by that, what should have looked like a hold right there on the edge.
That's a hold. You can't do that. I mean, listen, you can't get that hand on the outside. Even the tight end look at the referee thinking, oh, man, I hope I got away with this one. Just a bad job by the referees on that particular moment. And well, now Florida State's defense got to step up. Regardless of the call, can you get off the field on 3rd down?
Brown tucks it and runs with it, and he's short. Knocked down at the 11-yard line by Leonard Warner. Got 7. It's 4th down.
I mean, they don't even hesitate to go for it, man. It's like they're
all they do is they send AJ Dillon on the field. That's what they do.
I mean, they've only used their kicker 7 times all year. They got enough tight ends. They'll just keep them coming.
It'll bring some big bodies in.
And Awadazio will get the timeout. A 4th down and 2 here for Boston College on the 17th play of this drive that started back on their own 18-yard line. Their 5th try at 4th down. They're 50-50 so far.
3 tight end set, Beth, in this formation.
They'll roll out Brown. The toss for a 1st down to the 5-yard line to Michael Walker.
What a job. It's a sprint out. Call this sprint option. Get it out quick. Get your back running across. He's already got speed coming across the field, so it's hard for a DB to lock onto him. Making sure you catch the ball, getting your feet, and complete the catch. That's a really nice job by Michael Walker, a senior from Naples, Florida. Another kid from the state of Florida.
Well, the improved second half continues for Brown. 243 yards passing now with a touchdown since halftime. Dillon up the middle, touchdown. His 2nd of the night.
This run is just man-to-man blocking all the way across the board. Can somebody get off the block and make a tackle? It's a nice job by the Boston College line, making it easy. You put a body on a body, that's good enough for AJ Dillon. He can get by those arm tackles with his strong legs.
Extra point is good, 21-13. How about a studio update with Chris Cotter?
All right, let's start with UCLA, USC. Joshua Kelly. Well, Chip Kelly has leaned on this guy in the second half of the year. He goes 55 yards here. He has 256 on the day. Early 4th quarter, UCLA with the lead. Virginia, Georgia Tech, final seconds of this game. Who's kick a field goal to send it into overtime right now?
But we got a 21-13 score here, Chris. Boston College with the lead over Florida State. How about some notable head coaches around the country? Hot, medium, or cold first-year coaches? We got Chip Kelly at UCLA down there at the bottom with Willie and Scott Frost right now.
Yeah, I think Dan Mullen, to me, is maybe medium. I thought he came out hot, but then he's kind of simmered down. Herm, congratulations to him, man. Their team's in a great situation right now moving forward. And then down bottom, I mean, look, Scott Frost's team is improving. Chip Kelly's team's improving. Obviously early in the season, they look bad. But, you got to give them time to build their players. And Willie trying to do the same thing here at Florida State.
Jimbo at Texas A&M, by the way, they've got UAB coming up next year on ESPN2. How about first-year head coach Josh Heupel at UCF, unbeaten, winners of 22 in a row, taking over for Scott Frost in Orlando. They are at home tonight at the Bounce House to take on Cincinnati. It's Saturday Night Football presented by Walmart tonight on ABC. The 22-game win streak, we saw them a month or so ago. They've scored 30 points in every game in the streak.
Yeah, I'll be driving home on I-75 South. I'll be listening to that game back as I go back to Tampa.
Breaking free and into the secondary is Cam Akers, and breaking tackles run out around the 20.
Man, has anybody needed a run like that, then Cam Akers finally gets some blocking up front. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm in the second level, the third level, and then he goes to work. Look at the balance there. Doesn't even have to put his hand on the ground. Getting a huge run. Has electrified this crowd right now. Huge play for Florida State.
55 yards to put him over 100 now for the night. And here he is receiving the pass down to the 15.
Did you guys hear that pop up there? I was right next to it, and I know the Florida State sideline loved the way Akers just put his shoulder in that defender.
Took on Strahan and Carafa. Second down here, trailing by 8. Akers reversing field and losing his footing at the 20.
I feel like he needs a drink of water here. I don't know. I'm just saying. He looks tired. The fact that he had to revert around field, they're going to keep him in the... there he goes. He's going to get a little break here. But just like that, third down situation. A big run, and now nothing after that. Got to find a way to get this third down converted.
Right on the edge of the red zone. 4 for 14 on third downs tonight.
It's Marion, number 15, their long receiver at the top of the screen. See if they take a chance, maybe one-on-one coverage on the outside.
It's McKinney, and he couldn't hold it at the 10.
Here's the one thing about you see about DeAndre Francois. He gets the ball out of his hand quickly when you come out of your break. You got to get your hands out. And there's a little tugging and pulling there by the linebacker, but that's going to happen. You got to get separation. It's a well-placed ball. Just McKinney couldn't get his other hand out there to snag it.
McKinney was a player earlier. Remember Anthony on that seam route here near the end zone. Missed that ball as well.
Got to be alert. Quick twitch when you're a tight end coming out of those breaks. Receivers, get your head around and locate where the quarterback is, because that ball, especially for Francois, is coming out fast.
This a 37-yard attempt for Aguayo. And his third May State. The Noles trailing BC 21-16, and the streaks are on the line. They haven't lost 4 games in a row since 1975. They've gone bowling every season since 1981. They've had a winning season here every year since 1976. They got to win today to keep that bowl streak alive, the winning season streak alive, and end their 3-game skid. And out to the 25 here for BC, taking a knee. There's a look at the 2 big streaks tonight. 1976 was the last time that FSU had a losing record. Oh, I cried myself to sleep the night after this one. The Cowboys falling to the Steelers. Leroy Selman with the creamsicle orange there as a top pick. And look at the shirt there on Touchdown Tony, winning the Heisman, and Bobby Bowden arrived here for the Bicentennial in 1976. Collar on Touchdown Tony.
Yeah, ahead of his time.
Of course, Bobby Bowden really took this program to a whole nother level. A couple of national championships. Jimbo Fisher added one more. Bobby Bowden Field at Doak Campbell Stadium. Most consecutive winning seasons in the AP poll era. Florida State just behind Nebraska and Penn State. Brown downtown to Jeff Smith into Florida State territory.
They like this zone in the middle of the field. This is becoming a problem area in the second half for Florida State, and great concentration by Jeff Smith here. He really triple catches it. The ball's thrown slightly behind him and he's able to pull it down, but there's nobody in that zone to affect that. If some of the player was there to knock or maybe hit him, would have been a different story.
26 yards on that gain, and back to Dillon, who carries it for the 34th time for 109 yards.
Look at this alley right here, Wido. That's a heck of a job. Nigel Dean, I think, thought the ball was going to maybe come through those hands as he had to reach back for it. And then to his surprise, Jeff Smith coming up big, a senior from St. Petersburg, Florida, showing out tonight with a touchdown catch and 3 catches.
His TD catch earlier, 26-yarder. Brown running away from Josh Kando and out of bounds.
And Anthony, on that last play you were talking about, it looked like they were playing like a Tampa 2 look, and that, that linebacker's got to run that middle runner there and didn't get deep enough, and to open that, like you said, that open middle of the field.
So crucial to be in the right spot. Everybody counts on each individual on the field to make sure you're there. If one guy's out of place, plays like that can happen.
3rd down.
He's right on the edge right here. Brian Burns, he's looking at his coach saying, listen, I got this, coach. He's going to try to bring him something off the edge here. Some other players getting close to the line of scrimmage as well.
Burns in pursuit. Brown gonna run for it, and he gets hit by Kando and taken down just short, and Josh Kando is hurt. Sets up right now as a 4th and 1, but there's a flag on the play against BC.
Yeah, it looks like Fagan, the secondary player,
knocked heads with Kando.
Went head to head, and Kando looks like he took the brunt of this one on the side of his helmet.
Of course. Got ourselves a game here with 10 minutes to go. A 3rd and 18.
Wow.
Keeping his feet down inside the 40 was Levy. It's going to be 4th down.
He's in that area where they may go for it. They had him several yards before that. He kept his balance. And now they may punt this away. Yeah, it looks like the punt team's coming out. Nice job by Florida State. Not playing soft, too soft on that one where they gave up a big play. And I'm surprised BC went to the sideline to throw that quick pass. They've been very, their ability to get into the seams on those 3rd and longs. They try it for another time there, so they get the punt.
Punt will be down inside the 15-yard line and down at the 11. A studio update now with Chris Cotter.
First of all, how is Boyman not in that disco suite wearing Tony Dorsett's butterfly collar? That's what I want to know. Coach Moore begged me not to show highlights of a kicker, but we got to do it anyways. Virginia's Brian Delaney misses in overtime. Georgia Tech gets the win. Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M coming up next. Going out of conference to take on the Blazers from UAB. They'll kick in 24 minutes right here on ESPN2.
What a terrific story that UAB team is. Right back in business for a couple of years. They're 9-1 and in the lead in Conference USA West right now. Heading to Texas A&M to take on Jimbo. He's got the Aggies at 6-4 right now. So Florida State got a long way to go, down 5.
Well, the one guy I try to get the ball to is the senior, Nyquan Murray, number 8 down here. He's going against one of their best defenders in Hamp Shevers on the outside, but he's been an explosive receiver tonight and a accountable receiver in his route running as well.
Francois heaves that one into the bench area. Zach Allen was bearing down on him.
Hey, clotheslined him, Beth. I mean, he just took a shot here across his chest. Watch Zach Allen right on the screen there. They're rolling out. They don't get the edge, and he just, oh, man, just slams him into the ground. That's 285 pounds. It's a large human being coming off the edge, and if you're a tackle or a tight end or a running back, you're supposed to chip, and you better get that job done.
That'd be 15 yards in the NFL right there.
Yeah, 3rd and 8 here.
That's not, he's got a couple more months before that. He's going to take advantage of all he can. You're right, though. It's crazy.
Play clock down to 2. Blitz coming. And he had the first down and gave it back. DJ Matthews. Let's see where they spot him on the juke move.
You gotta, and he may get a favorable spot here. He's very fortunate, but you're right, Beth. He caught this ball, and I'll tell you what, I want to go back to Francois throwing this ball because he had a safety coming right in his face, and this kind of epitomizes what Francois is all about, but that's a heck of a job by Matthews getting that. They get that spot, but Will Harris comes right unblocked, right in his face, and he drills that ball right into, and Matthews is going down.
They gave him the first down yardage.
Watch Will. Here, let's watch where the spot is. Goes up, pulls back. Doesn't quite get the first down yet, and then he's down. He looks like he's short there.
Very favorable spot.
Yeah, he looks like he's short there. I mean, if I'm BC, but look at this, just stands in there. He took a little grazing, but still, the fact that he's coming at him, that's a good job by Harris pulling off. But he stood in there and delivered that football. And they're going to keep it. Wow, that's amazing. Looks short, Beth.
Running clock getting closer to 8 minutes to go. Florida State with its full complement of 3 timeouts. Francois will keep it. Gets out across the 25 and a run of 4. Max Richardson with the tackle.
And that's a part of his game that you don't see much. He rarely pulls that out and runs. I think the coaching staff would like him to do that a little more. They don't plan for it, though. They don't ask him to do it as much because he is a pocket passer. They have some running backs they feel like they can take over that load. But those things can be helpful. Best 2nd and 6 is a lot better than 2nd and 10.
They'll run it with him again, and he's got a first down. Spinning out to the 34-yard line.
You know, Jim Reed, the defensive coordinator for BC, gives out about a 3-inch stack of notes on Florida State. I'll bet you there's not one page in that stack that says Francois is going to take off on quarterback design runs. So a little change up here by the offense.
Throws that one out of play, incomplete.
And Anthony, to your point, it almost looked as if Zach Allen hadn't seen that a lot. He closed down really hard on that run, and he pulled it back out and kept it.
Well, he's the guy that studied. Jim Reed said he studies that inside and out, knows everything on it. He's just going by the rules the coach gave. He said, listen, he's probably not going to take off as much, so I'm going to do something a little different. You're right. He closed down an awful lot on that play, gave Francois the opportunity to run.
4-man pressure. Francois with the time and the overthrow at about the 35-yard line. He was looking for Terry, and it's 3rd down and 10.
It's a little out and up, but Terry got a little hung up. He did beat the defender, but the ball was too far thrown down the field. And 3rd and 10. Got to find a way to get off the field if you're BC. And for Florida State, as this time and this clock ticks down, who's going to be the guy to make a play? They got to protect number 1. This offensive line, not bad today. They come up big as BC's got 5 guys at the line.
They'll only rush 3. They try the little tunnel screen, and Murray looking for a lane. He's lucky to get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's 4th down and 10. Deep in your own territory here, and you're going to have to punt it back to BC and hope they can't just run the ball for 6 minutes.
I mean, you know, don't love the play call, but if it gets blocked up and he's able to get upfield, maybe you break one. But catching the ball at the line of scrimmage and asking your receiver to weave through and get 10 yards is a tough ask. I know Naquan Murray's a good receiver, but that's a tough situation.
So they will punt it away here. And Boston College will have it at their own 36. Well, tonight at 8 Eastern. 5.
I should have led with that one, but yeah, he's just, I'll tell you, he is a playmaker, very subtle. He's from Hawaii, just a great kid to talk to, and I'm looking forward to watching him tonight. Big American matchup on ABC.
Looking forward to watching that Monday night matchup, too, with Mahomes and Goff.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just amazing with Mackenzie Melton. Like most good quarterbacks, he just seems like he understands the ins and outs of everything about the game. Nothing looks hurried, nothing looks rushed. He just knows where to go with the football at all times.
So a 5-point game. Force a punt or at least hold them to the field goal. You're still within a score and a 2-point conversion. Let's check in with Chris Goddard. What's going on with West Virginia?
Well, you know, these two are going to score a lot of points inside T-Boone Pickens. Look at this catch by Tyron Johnson. Corner of the end zone. Taylor Cornelius finds him. Just a 3-point game right now for West Virginia on ABC.
One of those one-loss teams.
They just won't die every week. Oklahoma State, they just keep coming and coming. Dang. Best 5-5 school in America.
Trying to throw a little chaos into that Big 12 race. Brown finds a guy to dump it off to, and a first down across midfield and into Florida State territory. It's White for 16.
They lost contain with Brown on the outside, and Kobe White is standing right outside. And look, they kind of got him here. Two guys in the spot, got to break down right there. If you're a player, you got to be able to make that tackle. It's a great job by Florida State on that one, giving up a big first down.
7 catches, 121 yards for White. Jeff Smith. Well, the story of the second half for BC has certainly been their quarterback settling down, finding that balance between Brown and their running game with AJ Dillon.
Boston College is tough. I mean, they got some tough players, tough receivers, hard to tackle. They wait every yard that they get. They take over it, and Florida State's been good against them, but it's been a good matchup here in the second half.
4.5, clock rolling. They'll work that play clock down. And they'll try and punish him with Dillon, his 36th carry. Well, the ESPN app now with ESPN Plus. Get more ESPN and download now.
Just when you think he's tired and he's had all those carries, he looked like pretty explosive with a jump cut on that last play. And this is what it's going to come down to. The trenches, the offensive line, over 160-plus starts for BC. The defensive line for Florida State really been the catalyst for this football team. Zach Allen looks on the sideline as he sees his offense here. Then they put together a 4-minute offense and run this clock down.
Dillon trying to churn the legs for a couple more. They're going to be short. 4th and 1. Cyrus Fagan with the tackle. Do you go for it here, or you try and kick him and bury him deep?
Man, this is... He's going to let the clock go down. He may just take the time out and think about it, but...
They only have the one left.
Yeah. He's definitely going to let it roll down. He's going to take it, I think, Beth. He feels pretty confident that his offense, or his offensive lineman and his back can get 1 yard. Can Florida State change his plans on this 4th and 1?
BC with a 5-point lead under 3 minutes to go. That is not AJ Dillon in the backfield. It's Travis Levy. Couple of attempts to draw FSU offside. No takers for the Noles.
Yeah, they'll take the penalty and they'll punt this away.
Play game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
The most heavily penalized team in college football, Florida State. doesn't get jumped off sides there. Excellent job by them to have discipline up front and not to be called off after those false calls.
Anthony, do you like the decision there to waste your last timeout just to run and try to get them to jump off sides? You'd love to have that timeout, wouldn't you?
Well, we'll find out here because, you know, AJ Dillon wasn't in the game as well. That was kind of a sign that maybe they may not go for it. But you're right. At this point, Florida State's going to get the football. If they were to score, BC is going to be very short on time.
Matthews does have a punt return for a touchdown. He'll call the fair catch here, a 32-yard punt. And we'll head to the studio for another update. Chris?
Okay, just a reminder, Travion Williams, he has had an unbelievable season for Jimbo Fisher and A&M. They're getting set to start. We'll start this game on ESPNU, and as soon as you guys wrap things up down there at Doak Campbell, we'll move it over here to ESPN2.
So on September 29th up at Louisville, we saw this Florida State team led by DeAndre Francois rally and score in the final 2 minutes on a touchdown pass to Naquan Murray to beat the Cards. Can they do it again here to BC tonight?
Something about Francois in these moments. He just comes up big. That's the next level when you're talking about quarterbacks. Doesn't have a touchdown pass tonight, but he's been picking up steam here in the second half.
Full complement of timeouts. They'll run it with Cam Akers for 8.
He's quietly over 110 yards, and now he's limpy coming off to the sidelines.
Bunch to the right, stacking receivers to the left. Trying to get a line. That's Jacquez Patrick, the running back out there. Designed run for Francis for the first down. Clock continues to tick.
Yeah, the clock, you know, a lot of time. Take their time here, try to get themselves. I mean, want to have a good pace, but yet be cognizant of it. Every time get a first down, that clock will stop. They do have 3 timeouts, Beth. So this is a seasoned veteran quarterback playing for Florida State.
They lost about 15 seconds and counting here before the snap. Francois, deep ball down the middle, got a man, and it's caught. Terry keeps his feet, touchdown, Florida State. To make it a 3-point advantage.
Yeah, they're going to take their time. Make sure you have the right play here.
Yeah, he wants a timeout.
He's been the biggest playmaker, Beth, on this Florida State team at the wide receiver position. To Marion, he's got 3 catches for 112 yards tonight. I'm just letting you know this is all speed. He's right out here. He's going to run on the post. Safety's going to get pulled down by the tight end's route. And watch this. Running by, having trust in your receiver. The tight end pulls the safety out. You got one-on-one, man. And I'm telling you, he's got a tremendous amount of speed. That is a tough matchup for any cornerback, let alone a redshirt freshman, Brandon Sebastian. 2 young players going at it. And I'll tell you what, I feel like every time I turned on the tape each week, I saw Terry making big plays down the field, and there's no bigger gamer, in my opinion, when it counts than Francois. Regardless of what his numbers been in this game, he's got that kind of capability to make explosive plays.
You want to talk about some pressure. Willie Taggart talked to us yesterday. Said Florida State is a prideful place. We have heavy expectations here to win, and to win all the time, to win every year. And with the streaks on the line tonight, Francois delivers big time, 74 yards to Terry. And a win here would keep alive the possibility of the bowl streak at 36 years in a row, and the streak of winning seasons at 41 in a row. And now they'll go for 2, so that at best a Boston College field goal could only tie it. Akers back in there at tailback. Francois back at the end zone, broken up, incomplete. So a field goal could win it for BC. They are out of timeouts, and they have not relied heavily on their kicking game all year long. Well, tonight after Arizona and Washington State wrap things up over on ESPN, be sure to catch SportsCenter with Zubin and John Anderson. They'll break down the day in college football. Also, LeBron's reaction to the Lakers streak and an in-depth look at Golden State without Steph Curry tonight after college football on ESPN. That's also on your ESPN app. Rocky referenced it. Boy, would Boston College love to have that last timeout back that they burned before trying to get the fourth down play to draw the defense off sides.
And this is where a young quarterback has to understand situations, has to have the awareness, understanding when we get first downs, the clock stops, how quickly. Do I have enough time to get up to the line, call a play, and run it fast? Do I spike it on the first down? Again, just very, very cognizant of what's going on with 1:49 and no timeouts.
297 yards passing, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions, both of those coming in the first half. The one field goal attempt today for Colton Lichtenberg was a missed 29-yarder. His long on the season is a 38-yard field goal. And Michael Walker will try and shorten the field considerably for BC as he gets it out to the 40. Now a look at today's Player Spotlight, brought to you by T. Rowe Price. It's on Anthony Brown. Can he drive him for the win here?
Yeah, he's a smart kid, psychology and human development major, the 2-year starter. It's a great second half, 214 yards passing, no turnovers. And this is where we're going to test the intelligence level, the moxie of this young man in a crucial situation on the road. And this Florida State defense, now you haven't been in a moment like this where you guys can stand out. This is going to be a great finish.
Against the 4-man rush, Brown backing up, incomplete, had to chuck it away. Good push that time on the interior for Florida State at second down.
And a guy like Brian Burns, one of the elite pass rushers in college football, number 99. This is your chance to pin your tail back and go here on the top of your screen.
Brown to the outside, it's dropped. Smith had a first down and a step out of bounds.
Texas A&M on ESPNU. Here it comes from College Station.
Senior's been good with his hands tonight. And ball.